Welcome back to Vanity and Violence. I'm your host, Cece. Tonight, we're talking about the last mile on Windy Gap Road in Franklin County, Virginia. Evie Carter clocked out at 11:07 p.m., the same way she did every night that week. She was tired, polite, and carrying the kind of quiet exhaustion that hospice nurses wear like a second skin. The security guard waved and she waved back. It was routine, predictable, not anything unusual. Franklin County slept under a thick September heat, the kind that made the mountains feel closer and heavier, the kind that made headlights look like floating orbs in the dark. Evie's silver Toyota Corolla rolled out of the Carilion Hospital lot and onto Route 220, then up toward Windy Gap Road, a narrow, twisting stretch of asphalt that locals swore was haunted long before this case ever happened. She should have been home by 11:40 p.m., but at 6:12 a.m., a deputy found her car pulled off on a narrow shoulder. Driver's door open, headlights still on, purse untouched, keys in the ignition, and footprints, small, muddy, barefoot, leading into the woods. But they weren't hers. Franklin County woke up to the kind of story that spreads before breakfast. Deputy Mark Hensley stood at the edge of the tree line, staring at the footprints like they were trying to tell him something. The woods were too quiet, not peaceful, but watchful. Windy Gap Road had always been a place people avoided after dark. Too many blind curves, too many stories, too many things that didn't make sense. The search team fanned out, calling Evie's name. No answer. Just the hum of insects and the distant rush of the parkway. Then they found the first sign, a torn piece of blue fabric caught on a branch. It was Evie's scrubs, but the direction was wrong. Deeper into the Bennett's woods, not towards the road, not towards help. Why would she go in there? Muttered a deputy. Hensley didn't answer because he already knew the truth. People didn't go into the Bennett woods, not unless something or someone forced them to. They found the grave on the third day. It wasn't hidden well, just a mound of disturbed earth behind a fallen oak. Like whoever dug it didn't have time to finish the job. The smell hit first, then the flies. The body was male, mid-40s, hands bound with nylon rope, throat cut, dead less than 24 hours. Not Evie, but the campsite around him told its own story. A thermos with EC scratched into the metal, a length of rope matching the bindings, a torn strip of fabric from Evie's scrub top. And the worst part, the medical examiner found skin under the dead man's fingernails. DNA pending, it was a woman's. The sheriff tried to calm the county, but Franklin County isn't stupid. People whispered. People speculated. If this man wasn't Evie's killer, then who killed him? And where was Evie now? The photo surfaced on a Sunday morning, long before the sheriff's office was ready for the public to see it. A hunter named Raymond Buck Tilley walked into the station holding a mud-splattered SD card between two fingers like it was something alive. He didn't sit, didn't speak, just placed it on the counter and said, "Y'all need to look at this." Deputy Hensley loaded the images on his monitor. The first few were nothing. Deer, raccoon, a fox with one eye glowing brighter than the other. Then the fourth image appeared. Hensley leaned closer. A woman, barefoot, clothes torn, hair tangled with leaves, moving through the woods at dawn. Her face was turned slightly toward the camera, just enough to see the panic carved into her expression. Evie, alive. But it was the next frame that made Hensley's stomach drop. Behind her, half hidden by the trees, was the second figure. Tall, broad-shouldered, holding something long and metallic. A pipe, maybe, or a crowbar, or a rifle without the stock. The figure's head was turned toward the camera, but the face was blurred by emotion, like the woods themselves refused to give him shape. Hensley exhaled slowly. Jesus Christ. Buck Tilley crossed his arms. That was taken yesterday morning, 6:30. I didn't check the camera till this morning. Why didn't you call sooner? Buck's jaw tightened. Because I didn't want to be right. Sheriff Dalton arrived within minutes, his boots still dusty from church parking lot. He stared at the images without blinking. Release the first photo, he said, not the second. Hensley turned. Sheriff, not the second. Dalton's voice had that tone. You know, the one that shut down questions before they formed. But Hensley pushed anyway. If the public sees the man behind her, someone might recognize him. Dalton's eyes hardened. Or someone might panic. Or someone might start pointing fingers. Or someone might start asking questions we're not ready to answer. Hensley felt the shift. Subtle, but unmistakable. Dalton wasn't worried about panic. He was worried about something else. Something older. Something buried. The sheriff's office released the first image at noon. Evie, alive, moving through the woods. The county exploded with hope, but Franklin County is small and secrets don't stay locked up long. By 4 p.m., the second image, the one Dalton wanted buried, was circulating on Facebook, then Reddit, then everywhere. People zoomed in, people enhanced it, people circled the metallic object in red and argued about what it was. But the real debate was the figure's posture. Some said he was chasing her. Some said he was following her. Some said he was guiding her. And a few, the ones who remembered the old stories about the Bennett land, said something else entirely. He ain't chasing her. He's bringing her back. Buck Tilley sat in the interrogation room, arms folded, jaws set. Hensley slid the printed photos across the table. You ever seen either of them before? Buck shook his head. Just on the news. You hunt that area often? Not anymore. Why not? Buck hesitated. A long, heavy pause. Because the woods ain't right there. Hensley frowned. meaning. Buck leaned forward, lowering his voice like the walls might be listening. Meaning, I've hunted these mountains 40 years. I know what's normal. I know what's not. In the Bennett Woods, they don't sound right. They don't move right. They don't feel right. Hensley waited. Buck swallowed. And I ain't the only one who's felt it. That night, long after the deputies went home, Sheriff Dalton sat alone in his office staring at the trail cam images. He didn't print them, didn't save them, didn't speak a word. But he knew the truth the moment he saw the blurred figure behind Evie. He recognized the shape, the stance, the way the man held the metal bar. He had seen that posture before. 23 years ago, on the Bennett property, the night everything went wrong. Dalton closed the laptop and rubbed his temples. Not again, he whispered. God, not again. But the Woods had already chosen their story, and they weren't finished. Until next week, we'll find out what happens. I'm your host, Cece.